In this video, we'll be covering PerformancePoint in SharePoint 2013. My name is Tavis Lovell, and I'm a Senior SharePoint Consultant with Rackspace. If you need to reach out to me, you can find me at tavis.lovell@rackspace.com, on my blog at www.tavislovell.com, or on Twitter at tavislovell. In this video, we're going to talk about what PerformancePoint is used for. We'll step through the prerequisites you'll need in order to complete this tutorial. And finally, we'll walk through creating our own PerformancePoint dashboard and deploying it to SharePoint. PerformancePoint allows you to create interactive dashboards and publish them to SharePoint. These dashboards allow users to quickly identify areas of interest, serving as a starting point for further investigation. PerformancePoint offers several reporting options, including KPIs, scorecards, and analytic charts. It also allows you to leverage BI collateral developed in other technologies such as Excel services or reporting services within your dashboards. PerformancePoint offers extensive data exploration with tools like the analytic chart and the decomposition tree. You will need to have an enterprise license for SharePoint in order to leverage PerformancePoint in your environment. In order to successfully complete this tutorial, you'll need to have the following prerequisites: a SharePoint 2013 environment with the PerformancePoint services configured, and the AdventureWorks DW 2012 Multidimensional-SE Analysis Services Database installed. The Analysis Services Database can be downloaded for free at the link shown in the slide. Both the configuration of PerformancePoint and instructions on how to deploy the Analysis Services Database are covered in depth in the Business Intelligence chapter of the ROCKS publication titled Professional SharePoint 2013 Administration. Before we start the tutorial, let's take a quick look at what our goal is. We want to create an internet sales dashboard that shows total internet sales by product model, by country, and by year. We also want to give users access to a product category filter, and we want this filter to be applied to all of the reports on the dashboard. Finally, we want to create our dashboard report items using the PerformancePoint analytic chart. This will give users access to the PerformancePoint decomposition tree. Now that we've got our end goal in mind, let's build this dashboard from the ground up. The easiest way to get started building PerformancePoint content is to ensure you're using the Business Intelligence Center site in SharePoint. I'm going to create a new site using this template by navigating to Site Contents, scrolling down to Subsites, and I'm going to create a new subsite. We'll call the site Video Demo, and we'll also use that for the URL. And then for template selection, I'm going to use Enterprise and then Business Intelligence Center. We will accept all the rest of the defaults and then just click Create. Now that we've got our new site created, we'll want to navigate to Site Contents and then PerformancePoint Content. From here, you can open up the Dashboard Designer by simply clicking on New Item. Once the Dashboard Designer opens up, we'll want to create a data connection to our Analysis Services cube. To do that, we'll click on Data Connections, and then the Create tab up at the top. Data Sources. We will select the Analysis Services template, then click OK. And we'll need to enter in some information here real quick. So in my case, the server name is just SQL. We will select our database, and then our cube. In my case, it's AdventureWorks modified. In your case, it will probably just be AdventureWorks if you're following along. And last but not least, here we'll want to test our data source connection by clicking Test Data Source. And that all seems to be fine. So we will rename our data source to AdventureWorks. And then click Save up at the top left-hand corner. Next, we'll want to create our filters, reports, and the dashboard that all of those items go on. So let's click on PerformancePoint content, go back up to create, and we'll create the filter first by clicking on the filter icon. We'll use member selection, click OK, select our AdventureWorks data source, then click next. And for filter dimension, we will be using product category. Click on the select members button and allow them to use all members as the default, and then select all of the children underneath product. So right click on all products, go to auto select members, and then select children, then click OK. We'll use the multi-select tree, click finish, and there is our filter. We'll want to rename that real quick to product category filter, and then click save at the top left. Next, we'll create our 3 analytic charts that will go on our dashboard. So we'll start by clicking on PerformancePoint content, going up to the analytic chart icon and clicking on that. Select our data source, and we'll name this report Internet Sales by Country. Okay. We'll want to go over to the right hand side and expand the measures and look for Internet Sales amount, and we'll drag that over to the bottom axis. Next, we'll look for customer country underneath the dimensions. So we'll go to customer, expand that, location, and then country, and we'll drag that over to the series. And we also want to look for product category. So expand product and take category and drag it over to the background. And we'll need to have this here in each of the reports so that we'll be able to hook up our product category filter to our report. Once that's done, go ahead and click save at the top left, and we'll create our second report by repeating that process. Again, we will select Internet Sales Amount and drag it to the bottom axis. This time we'll select Product Model Lines and drag that over to the series. Now this isn't quite what we're looking for here. We don't want to show all products wrapped up together, so if we just click on the Internet Sales Amount here, we'll drill in one level, and that's what we want to see. And we want to change this to a pie chart as well. So right click on any empty space on the report and then go to report type and then pie chart. And again, last but not least, we'll want to add product category to the background. And we'll rename this report real quick to Internet Sales by Product Model. And then save it and repeat that process for our third report. This report will be called Internet Sales by Year. And in this one, we'll again be looking at Internet Sales Amount. So drag that over to the bottom axis. We'll be looking at the customer country. So go ahead and drill down into customer, location, and then country. And we're going to drag that over to the series. And then we also want to look at the date that the sale happened. So go down to date. We wanted to look at calendar year. So expand calendar, select year, and then drag that over to the bottom axis as well. And again, in the background, we want to place product category. Now we'll go ahead and change this report to a line chart by right-clicking on an empty space and then going to report type and we'll use line chart with markers. And we've got a few years that don't have any sales in here, so we're going to go ahead and right click on an empty space on the chart, go to filter, and then filter empty axis items. And that looks a little bit better. And then go ahead and save this report. And finally now I want to create our dashboard. So click on PerformancePoint Content again, click on the dashboard icon underneath the Create tab. We'll use the header 2 columns option here. Click OK. And you'll see we have a header with the left column and a right column. So our filter will go at the top, and then our 2 reports will go left and right, and then we need one more area below these 2. So we'll want to right click on the left column and then go to Add Below. And this should give us another area, or zone as they're called. Now that we've got all of our zones ready, we just need to drag our items onto our dashboard. We'll start with the filter by going over here to the right hand side and drilling into filter and selecting our product category filter, and we'll just drag that right to the top. Next we'll go ahead and drag our reports onto the dashboard in the same manner. The internet sales by country will go on the right column. The internet sales by product will go over here, or product model should I say. And then at the very bottom we'll put our internet sales by year. Now, even though we have our report and our filter on our dashboard, we still need to connect our filter to each of the report items. To do this, you'll want to scroll over product category filter, and you'll get this little drop down. We want to go down and select member unique name, and you'll want to click on that and hold it, and then just drag it to your report and then release it. And you'll get this little connection window to come up. You want to make sure product category is selected here. If it's not, you'll want to make sure that you drag it to the background for each of your reports. Once you confirm that product category is selected, just click OK. And we'll go ahead and repeat that process for each of the other reports here. All right. We'll rename this dashboard real quick over here on the left by right-clicking on it. You can go to rename, and we'll call it Internet Sales. And then to deploy our dashboard, we'll just have it selected, then go up to the File button up here at the top, and then click Deploy. And what this will do is bring up a new window. We'll select where we want it to be deployed to. In our case, we want to deploy it to the video demo subsite into the dashboards library. Then click OK, and it will deploy it there, and then it will automatically bring up your dashboard in your browser. So we'll just want to test out the features here, make sure that it works. We'll go to product category filter. Let's make sure that this filter gets applied to all of the reports so we can see they're all updating. That seems to be working, and make sure that the decomposition tree is indeed working. And we just get this functionality for free when we use the decomposition tree. I'm sorry, when we use the analytic chart in the dashboard. And this all seems to be working as well. So I think that pretty much wraps it up for our tutorial on PerformancePoint. Once again, my name is Tavis Level, and thanks for watching.